rolling. Yeah, we got a little twang there. Steve Gill and I listened to that earlier today, and he's like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm down in Nashville. I hear that crap all the time. I'm like, that's our new pregame, postgame song. So welcome to this exciting Browns postgame. I'm John. We have special guests, Joel Cade and Rod Bloom. Rod Bloom, who does the Browns Blitz, Joel Cade, who does What the Elf Was That? Rod, congratulations! We love having you here, Joel. We love having you here. Rod doesn't, um, come on that often for our he does a tremendous job with his brother on his own show and has all these wonderful. Welcome, Rod. Welcome, Joel. My gosh, what happened today? What do you think? Rod, we'll start with you.
Wow, guys, all I can say is it was refreshing. That's the first word that comes into my mind. I mean, all we've been hearing is everybody just being worried about how the offense has looked just putrid, and how Shadur's not ready, he's behind, and all this stuff. And then we got to see some football that looked like football tonight. The team looked like a team, and I know it's the first preseason game, so I'm not gonna go crazy here and start talking anything nuts for the season or anything like that. But man, we saw a ton of positives tonight, and it gives me a lot of hope for what could happen this season, not just record wise, but, development of players and, and what we might see out of some of these guys this season.
Right. I agree. I mean, and Shadur and we're talking about the whole team, but the guy in the spotlight, the Friday Night Lights, Shadur Sanders, he came, overall, I said this to you guys in the group chat, just calm and confident. Yeah, he made mistakes and he's going to get better. And yes, he's developing, but my God, I mean, this kid is going to play in the NFL. And I hope the Cleveland Browns recognize that. The fan base is really pumped. And I know some of us fans and some of us even within our contributors here on the Fanatical Elves are more, it is just preseason. Yeah, I know it's just preseason, but the eye test says something. Joel, what do you think about all that?
So if you're going to the eye test,
you're scratching up there, Joel.
I don't know what's going on. The eye test says, am I still scratching?
A little bit.
Okay, well, I think the eye test said something on tape when he was in college. I mean, I think when you drafted him, you knew what you were getting. The question was, why did he fall so far? And what does he have to do to be ready to play? And I think we have some patience. We get him ready to play. We don't speed this up faster than it needs to be. We give him the time. Stop making the same mistakes as they're making all these years, all these other quarterbacks. Get him ready and then play him. I think we're going to have something.
Yeah. We were all commenting throughout I know some of us in the group chat left the group chat because we were texting so much. So those of us contributors
it was on
out
fire.
There, hopefully you come back to the group. Just looking at the whole thing, from start to finish. And then I guess the other thing that, obviously if you're following social media, LeBron James is commenting, the king, your favorite player, Joel, the king, LeBron is commenting.
You can just hear the eye roll.
Yeah, no, I can, but I even said the king has spoken. What do you guys think of that?
No comment.
No comment. Rod, he is the king. I mean,
I'm not. I'm glad he's happy. I mean, honestly, I want to be able to look at Shadur as a quarterback and as a player and not get wrapped up in all of the nonsense of who he is and all of the other stuff. And that's how he needs to be looked at. Okay. Yeah. If he turns out to be the guy, then and some of that other stuff follows after he's already a franchise quarterback. Okay, I can deal with that. But but yeah, we don't need a circus right now. I mean, right now he looked good in one preseason game. It's great. We're excited. We can see that maybe this kid, maybe we got something here, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not get carried away.
I know, and
John, I want to jump in on this.
Yeah,
I want to jump on this.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I agree with Rod, right? You've got something you can develop and mold, and looks like he's going to be a good player. You got to take it this one step at a time. The problem for Shedeur is that he's getting what I'm calling the Johnny Manziel treatment from ESPN, which they look at him like he's a cash cow. What can we do to stir up controversy with the name Shedeur Sanders in our mouths? Because that gets us clicks, that gets us looked at, and if we could, like, trash this one team to make this other guy look better, that's all the more for us. Or if we can trash one guy to make another guy look better, all the more for us. And I think they're just using him like a cash cow.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for fans not to get swept up into that.
Steve Gill and I were talking in the pregame about Louis Riddick this past week, which Louis Riddick once played for the Cleveland Browns. Louis Riddick, I think, has been up for jobs here in Cleveland. And I was surprised by his take trying to say that the Browns are sabotaging his career and throwing him in the fire. And I'm like, dude, I will say that, I mean, what Shedeur did today against first teamers and against second teamers was solid. And this is a Carolina team. I know, Joel, you know a little bit about them more. They were coming in, you know, with a lot. I mean, they came in, they knew they were going to be starting. And I thought Shedeur, other than that first drive, really looked very cool and calm.
Yeah, he looked pretty jacked up that first drive, was throwing the balls high, and you knew once those passes started sailing that after about 2 or 3 drives, those would come down as his adrenaline level came down. But that Carolina defense is not known for being a great defense, so that's why they're out there.
So do you think some of the people will say, again, we're going back to this whole preseason thing, that they'll say it's just preseason. You're not playing the speed and everything. It's going to be so much different in week 1 or week 2 of the real season. And I just don't buy that. Do you guys buy that, Rod? Do you buy that? Because I didn't see, like, for him, for me, I'm looking at him and he passes the eye test for me.
He's playing against it's preseason, but he's playing against, you know, their first team, you know, initially. Yeah. So how's the speed going to be that much different? You know, maybe a little bit, but I mean, it shouldn't be that much different. You got guys out there trying to get ready for the season and fighting for jobs. They shouldn't be out there, you know, taking it easy on anybody.
Who else did you guys like tonight? I'll just start with
John. Let me jump in on that.
You want to get back to that?
Let me get on that one. What you will see differently in the season is that you'll have a team game planning for Shedeur Sanders. Right now, the Panthers are out there just playing base defense. We want to see this blitz on this down. We want to see this. You get to a season game, they're going to say, this is who Shedeur Sanders is. This is how we specifically beat him. And if you paid attention, I think the word is out there. I mean, I won't say the word is out there. There are ways you could game plan for Shedeur Sanders just from what you've watched tonight. So that'll be a key difference when the games become a more stakes on the line, and everyone's ramped up a little bit. So I'm one of those hold the brakes. DeShone Kizer went 4-0 in the preseason before the Browns went 0-16. So I'm going to remind everybody of a DeShone Kizer. Okay,
I will say Shedeur, in my mind. I mean, and I know it's been a long time, but watching Shedeur and watching DeShone, and I know it was preseason, but I just sense like he's a different player.
No, I agree completely, but I just think we can't get on the ESPN hype. We can't get on the, hey, we watched one preseason game hype.
Right.
We got to just chill for a second.
When's the last time ESPN did anything good for Cleveland?
Some people get on that hype.
Yeah. Well, we're good for business. Let's put it that way. We're going to be really good for business over the next week. Cleveland is the center of the universe, the sports universe. If you are a Cleveland fan, you know that. We are the center of the sports universe. It continues now. Hey, let's pause for a quick commercial break. This is the Fanatical Elves post-game show where the Browns win and Shedeur impresses. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here on the Fanatical Elves Show. Thanks for listening to our post-game show. You can download us on Apple and Spotify. These guys here, Joel Cade and Rod Bloom, do amazing jobs contributing to the Fanatical Elves Network. The Browns Blitz with Rod Show. What the Elf is that with Joel Cade. I co-host a little bit on that show. We've just have so many great people in our network. Lou Marconi and Ethan and Sherry were on earlier tonight with their live coverage with their Bernie River Browns talk, and we've got Steve Gill will be coming out with a show Sunday with his Dog Pound South show. Jarrell Flint with the Dog Food Radio. Steve, Sam Britton out down there in Dallas does the Browns breakdowns. Have I missed anybody? I think I got everybody. No, Heather also does a show with Ethan. The best doggone podcast in the land. And like Rod Bloom here, he's had some great guests. He had Ken Carman from 92.3 on recently. That must have been a lot of fun, Rod.
Thanks, guys. A ton of fun. Yeah. I mean, Ken's a great guy. I can't say thank you enough to Ken for joining us. And
he's a great guy. Yeah, I got to meet him last year just briefly at the pregame block party, and he was kind enough to get a photo with me, Lou, and Sherry, and I've got it here on my wall. My wall
Very
of
cool.
fame. So let's talk about some of the other players tonight. You know, just early on, Mason Graham and Carson Schwessinger. My gosh, I'm envisioning these two guys in their number one defense with Myles Garrett and some Denzel Ward, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm excited. What do you guys think about that?
I think you saw it already tonight. You saw Mason Graham getting those double teams, which allowed those two defensive ends to come in on one-on-one pass rushes.
Yeah.
And they're both good rushers, and they both got to the quarterback. If they're getting double teamed, that's not happening. But you got Mason Graham in there eating up blocks. He's not letting anybody past him in the run game. That guy was worth whatever we picked for him.
On that double team he took, early on, I think was it Alex Wright who got the sack or somebody who got, so yeah, I was watching Mason Graham specifically. Like you told me, Joel has been telling me, Rod, and maybe you knew this already, but I didn't, I always, watch the football and the quarterback, but he's been telling me, don't watch the football. You're watching the game wrong. Right, Joel?
Right. You got to watch the players, just like Rod just said.
Yeah.
Don't watch the football. Watch where the football's going.
What about some of the players that you liked out there? What did you see?
I mean, on defense, I mean, you name it. I mean, so many guys look good. I mean, I thought it starts with Mason Graham, but the whole defensive line looked good initially. I mean, when on those first few plays when they were getting some penetration, in the double team, and Alex Wright was just shoving his guy right back into the quarterback. I thought, you know what? Nobody's even thinking about Alex Wright being a contributor yet this season.
Right. Wright is right. Alex Wright, the former, I think he played saxophone or trombone in the band. I've always been impressed by that. I saw some story when he was coming out of college, and I was like, that's pretty impressive. He was a band guy. He
looked good. I mean, honestly, the defensive backs, it was all of our backups were out there, and those guys played pretty darn well through the whole game. I can't even pick out one guy. I mean, so many guys made really nice plays back there. Gives you a lot of
who got the interception? Nate Smith, or I know Steve mentioned it.
I'm not going to pretend I know all 90 guys on the roster right now, guys. There was a few names out there that I thought, I don't remember that guy being picked up.
Needham. Nick
Needham. Yeah.
I'll say this, and I know we mentioned Carson Schwessinger, but we ought to just say it for a second here. He was all over the field.
Everywhere.
I mean, he would get up in the box, get a guy on him. He would come off the guy and make a play. It was tremendous because most guys get a linebacker, like a linebacker get a big 300-pound offensive lineman on him. They're not getting off. He's getting off and making plays. It's tremendous. I'm like, you've got two guys right in the middle of the defense right now that are just around the ball, making plays, making these professional veteran players look bad. And these are
Mhm.
first game preseason rookies, and they're doing a tremendous job out there against the ones.
Yeah,
Excellent take.
and to piggyback on that, I know how people feel about Andrew Berry. I don't want to turn this into an Andrew Berry love fest, but Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, first two guys taken in the draft. How'd they look tonight? Okay, everybody loves to hate Andrew Berry,
Mhm.
and everybody, not everybody. Some people didn't like how those first picks went in the draft. The first two guys, and Schlesinger gets picked. Who's this guy? Why are we taking a linebacker? And you know what? I think those two guys are going to work out pretty well. So
Yeah, I think that looks like the next 10 years of our defense. That's what I
yeah,
think that looks
Yeah.
like.
yeah.
No.
So yeah, don't. Sometimes it's good to wait to judge a GM and a draft class, guys.
Well, it's still relatively early. I know we're all anxious as Cleveland Browns fans. 6 years in, it's like, oh my God, we're not used to having anybody be on 2 years or 3 years. So now we're in year 6, and we think this is a long time. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not.
Yeah.
But watching Carson Schlesinger for me too, Joel, how you were describing him, and I would coach 8th grade football. There was always that one kid on the other team or our team who would always be like everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
he was the linebacker and he was the quarterback and he could then switch and be linebacker, and he was everywhere, and that's how
Yeah.
I kind of saw that tonight. He was back in passes, he was up, getting tackles, and it was fun to
I was
watch.
joking that I was going to go buy a 94 jersey, and then when I was rooting for Schlesinger, just turn it inside out so that it's backward. Therefore, it's 49. And I
Yeah,
could just root for both of them at one
yeah.
time.
So,
They both look good. That's for
what are you
sure.
Yeah,
what are you
they
looking
both look
for?
good.
What are you guys looking forward to now that this is over? I know we're gonna hear a lot over the next 24 hours about everything under the sun. What are your expectations, Rod? Why don't we start with you on how you see this playing out and what you think the next things we're going to see from the Browns and these players and all that.
I mean,
Knowing
I
that
don't
it's
think it.
hard to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it changes much in the preseason. I think you're still going to play Shador and Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett when they're available. I would hope that Joe Flacco is going to play in that third preseason game at least a little bit. Please, just so he's ready, because we've been down that road before. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing. But I want some of the starters out there at some point to get them ready for the regular season. Because we've been down that road where the guys don't have any snaps, and we know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not as far as Shador's play and projecting that forward.
Mm-hmm.
This really doesn't change a lot for me because it's
Okay.
still about his progression and when he's actually ready to start during the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Joel talked about it. Things are a little bit different during the season, and the Browns obviously brought Joe Flacco in for a reason
Mm-hmm.
to start until one of the kids
Yeah.
is ready to play.
Yeah.
Until the Browns are ready, either because they're out of it by record, or because one of the rookies is actually ready to play and we're ready to see what we have in them. So
yeah, Ron, I've been thinking in my head all evening. I know this is a comparison to Baker Mayfield, but the whole Baker Mayfield 2018, they didn't put him right out there. Hugh Jackson didn't, and then it was game 3. The kid got hurt, Tyron Taylor, and
yeah,
Baker got thrust into the limelight on national TV, and the rest is, history. You know what happened. It was very exciting time, and so I agree with both of you. I mean, when I said like I'm rooting for him to start in week 1, I'm not necessarily, but I certainly, if he continues to show and demonstrate in these preseason games what we saw a little bit tonight, and he's improving on that, I certainly think that the kid, obviously, we all probably agree we want to see what we can get from these two rookies so we can
yeah,
contemplate what's going to be next.
yeah. And I think he could. I think he could definitely alter the depth chart too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that could happen pretty
Okay.
easily if he plays well in the next 2 preseason
And
games.
I hate these people too on social media. They love posting these photos of like Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel looking sad and like they're trying to project like here's what's gonna happen next. And I'm like, dude, like just give it up. Some of these people are so mean when they're on that like that these platforms. I know Joel, you and I were talking about that yesterday about he said to me on the show, he says, well, I just can't handle the X, it's just such a negative place and all this stuff. And I just need to stay
Absolutely.
off of it. And he relies on me to come up with the zingers.
Yeah, you got to know what's going on in the social media world. I can't do it. But I'll say this about the question, like, what does this mean? I agree with Rob. Rod, I don't think it means much of anything.
Yeah.
I think they're still going to be. They still like Kenny Pickett. My money is on Kenny Pickett to be the starter this season because that's what's being coming out of Berea, right? I still think they're high on Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel is in part of the intellectual game, much further ahead of Shador Sanders right
Yeah.
now. I think physically, like I said the other day, physically on the field, throwing the passes, the accuracy, Shador Sanders is way ahead of Dylan Gabriel. But Dylan Gabriel's got the mechanics of the game right now. And I'm starting to see some of this stuff about, oh, the Browns had trade offers for Dylan Gabriel. And I also kind of wonder, are they trying to pump him out there, get him ready as much as they can, get him out there in the preseason to get somebody
Mhm.
to bite and trade for him because
Mhm.
they are sold on Shador Sanders and they are willing to
Yeah.
wait. I mean, we guys talk about Shador Sanders starting week one. My goal, my ideal scenario is Shador Sanders starts week one, 2026. He
Mhm.
gets 6, 7 games this season, and then next year is his year.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Joel, and sorry, John, because I don't like it when guests do this on my show. But um, do, Joel, do you think that they can make a determination that Shador is the QB of the future without playing him this year?
I think you got to play him this year. I've been saying that since I've been doing podcasts. You've got to play him at some point this year, but you can't play him until he's ready. And so he's
Right.
got to put the work in to be ready to step on that field. And there were things that happened. And I know people don't want to talk about it, but there were
Mhm.
some things that happened that made you look at him and say, he's got some work to do before he's shown up on a Sunday afternoon and playing football. Some of
Mhm.
that pre-snap stuff has got to get cleaned up. Getting in and out of the huddle's got to get cleaned up. I
Mhm.
see that he didn't bust any snaps. There are no fumbled
Mhm.
snaps. I had an over under on 1.5 on that for tonight, but
Uh-huh.
that didn't happen at all. So should have taken the under. But it just I think he's got to be ready to get out there, and that's going to be on him, and that's going to be on some of the work that he has to do on his own.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff coaches just can't do for him. So
Mhm. Hey, the running
Yeah.
game, not to switch gears too much, but they had some guys in there that I hadn't really heard of, especially the Marshall kid, who looked pretty solid for a running back. I was pleasantly surprised by him. Then there was the other more veteran guy, Williams, that had played for the Bengals for a while. So,
mhm.
do you think any of those guys had any chance of making the squad, considering that Quinshon Junkins, we don't know what's happening? Do either of you have any thoughts about the
I,
running back
I
game?
mean,
I
I
think
mean,
that. Go ahead, Joel. Sorry.
I liked Williams. I thought he did a pretty good job tonight.
Yeah.
I think ultimately this team would like to get to Quinshon Judkins. That's why you draft him. I think that's where they'd like to be. Whether
Mhm.
he's going to be there or not, I don't know. Beyond
Okay.
that, you should just keep throwing Jerome Ford out there and try again next
This
year.
Marshall kid is undrafted from Appalachian State or something like that. So it was a nice stiff arm he had.
He's the biggest of the guys. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want a guy to, if you feel like you need a goal line back, then you would be keeping him.
Yeah.
If you want a guy to play special teams, you're going to go or want a back that does other things, then you're going to go with one of the other guys. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, I thought they all showed a little something tonight. I thought they were
Absolutely.
all kind of
I think
interesting.
they all showed something good and something bad. I mean, they all had positive negatives. Williams, I like some of the stuff he did. I also don't like the fact that he isn't, getting through the hole when it's open, which is probably why he was available,
Mm.
right? I
Hmm.
mean, he can get to the hole, but he's not running through it. Like he's he's moseying up to the hole like you
Mhm.
should, but then he's just moseying through the hole, which gets him caught from behind by trailing defensive ends. So you got to clean that up.
Yeah.
We
And
almost
he's
had
been
a
in the
punt
league 2
return
or 3
today.
years.
Not to change the subject again, but we had a kid that almost ran back the punt on the one play. Did you guys see that one in
I
the
saw
third
that.
quarter?
Mhm.
That was good. He got caught just at the very end there, but
You know, special teams looking good tonight was
Mhm.
probably as promising as anything after what we saw last season.
Well, I mean, did you guys see Hopkins miss a kick and almost miss another one?
oh, did he
And
miss one tonight?
Well, I'm
I
not
missed-
talking about the kicker. I'm talking about
thank
special
you.
team.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Steve Smith was on the broadcast, and they were getting ready to kick a field goal, and I had the Panthers broadcast.
Oh,
right?
you listened to that? Okay.
And so
Ah,
Steve Smith's on there talking all things Panthers, and they're talking about their long snappers, 40 years old and been on the team forever. He's like, that's not a football player, that's a holder. And he's like, no, actually, it's a long snapper. He's like, it's the same thing. He's not a football player. I was like, Steve Smith, just bringing the truth, man. He's not a football player. He's a kicker.
But our special teams coverage was good. Like we got their fumble recovery, that was great. Had
Yeah.
some decent run backs.
I mean, it looked pretty good other than
It also
like Joel said, the kicker.
It also looked like both teams were catching the kickoff, running, and the first sign of getting hit, they're falling down. Both teams were doing it, and it was like, okay. I think I texted at one point, are they just telling them to fall over? Is that what's happening here? Just, hey, we're going to get the ball in the 35, just don't lose it, so just fall over. Like, get anybody to do that. Just kick the thing, run up to the first
Yeah.
person, and fall over.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, final
I
thoughts.
know I'm
Yeah.
negative Nancy today. I'm
No, you
sorry.
aren't. No, it's all good. No, I think there's just I was pleasantly surprised. I think a lot of Browns fans who were really, looking at this, see what would happen with the opportunity for Shedeur were really happy for the most part. And I think coming into the game, a lot of us talked about it's a win-win for him and this team, and the fact that he didn't get a lot of reps with the first teamers and all these things coming in, and then he's pushing the limelight. I mean, I think it was nice. It was nice to see what looked like some competent quarterback play. And considering, I mean, for me as a Browns fan, I don't know about you guys, but after several years of Deshaun Watson and the conversation about Deshaun Watson, it's just a breath of fresh air that we're not talking about that anymore. And maybe we're going into a new period, new era, building up toward that new beautiful dome stadium that they're going to build in Brook Park. So
Yeah.
It's exciting. It could really be exciting for Browns fans. And I think the Browns fans are just looking for anything to be excited about it. So, Rod, final thoughts tonight before we say goodbye to our fans. And thank you, Bernie Kosar, for following us on TikTok.
Yeah, guys, I was, as I generally do, I was texting with my brother Jeff, who co-hosts with me on the Browns Blitz. We text during the games if we're both able to watch it live, and he says, "Do you know?" Or he says, "How many times did we score 30 points in a game last season?" And I said, "I don't know if we did." And he looked up, and it was one time. It was a loss to the Broncos. Okay.
Oh.
Lost to the Broncos. We scored 30. We scored at least 30
Jameis
points.
Winston,
I
that's
can't
right.
remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact score of that game, but that was the only game we scored 30 points on it.
Mhm.
So I don't want to take any credit away from Shedeur
Yeah.
or anybody else, but thank God the Ken Dorsey offense is gone. Okay. And we're able to move on in a new direction. And, hopefully Shedeur turns out to be the guy, and they can use those first round picks next year on other positions of need. And the Browns could really be building something here.
Boy, that would be a dream come true. Joel?
It's Shedeur time, baby.
Shedeur.
Look, I know I'm super cautious on him, and I'm telling everybody to hold back. Part of that is just to tell myself to hold back. I mean, I know he's got a lot to work on, but I am super
That's the life
excited
of a
about
Browns
Shedeur
fan,
Sanders.
Joel.
I am
That's the
super
best.
excited about Shador Sanders. I think he could be something. I'm also scared to death that these people are going to screw him up before he gets a chance. So you've just got to be patient and do it right. Just
Yeah.
for once, please, for the love of God and all Browns fans alive, just one time, get a player that looks like he could be a quarterback and let him actually develop into a quarterback before we throw him to the dogs. All right, there you go.
Excellent.
There's my statement.
Any final thought there, Rod?
I agree with Joel.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a good, meaningful season. Let's figure out this quarterback thing, and let's move forward toward that dome, and let's have just a solid organization that we can all be proud of, in a year or two down the road. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
And
build around these kids.
And we have a lot just besides Shador, like we said earlier, Mason Graham, Carson Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely.
Joel says the next 10 years, those are the two guys on the defense,
Well, from what we saw tonight, it looks like they could be there for 10 years.
Hey,
but they were doing it against the ones. That's what makes me excited.
Yeah.
They look good.
Well, the King was impressed too, your favorite LeBron James, Joel, so we'll leave it with
that.
Did
he fall over when he said it?
Everybody, thank you so much for watching us here live on the X, on YouTube, Facebook. We appreciate your loyalty. Tell other people about the Fanatical Elves Network, part of Fans First. We got great contributors like Rod and Joel. Stay tuned for the next show. It's just moments away. Well, probably Sunday, but hey, thanks for joining us here on the post game. See you next time. Go Browns. Woof, woof. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Woof, woof.